What would you do if you found yourself in complete darkness, hundreds of feet underground, with no clear way out? What if one wrong step could mean the difference between life and death? On February 12, 2011, 10 students from the University of Florida set out to conquer one of the most dangerous caves in the world, Ellison's Cave. But instead of triumph, they encountered tragedy. This is the story of their journey, their choices, and the harrowing events that shook the caving world. A cave, unlike any other. Ellison's Cave isn't your ordinary hiking spot. Located in Georgia's Pigeon Mountain, this cave system is infamous for its sheer vertical drops, complex passages, and treacherous terrain. It's not just a cave, it's a labyrinth of darkness and danger. Most notably, it features the fantastic pit, a 586-foot vertical drop that holds the record as one of the deepest free-fall pits in the United States. For expert cavers, Ellison's Cave is a rite of passage. For the unprepared, it can be a death trap. But these 10 students, young, adventurous, and fueled by curiosity, saw it as an opportunity to prove their mettle. None of them could have anticipated what lay ahead. Who were they? Let's meet the group. These were not professional cavers. They were students' friends bonded by their shared love for adventure. John, a charismatic 20-year-old, was the unofficial leader. He was the one who proposed the idea of exploring Ellison's Cave. Among the group were seasoned hikers, but when it came to technical caving experience, most were beginners. Still, with the guidance of an experienced instructor, they felt confident in their ability to handle the challenge. This wasn't just a random outing, it was a carefully planned adventure. Or so they thought. They had ropes, helmets, and flashlights, but the question was, were they truly prepared for what Ellison's Cave would demand of them? Into the darkness. It was a cold morning when the group arrived at Pigeon Mountain. Excitement buzzed in the air as they approached the cave's gaping entrance. Flashlights cut through the darkness as they stepped into a world that felt like another planet, wet, slippery, and eerily quiet, except for the sound of dripping water. The deeper they went, the more the light from the surface faded, replaced by an overwhelming sense of isolation. At first, everything went smoothly. They followed the guide's instructions, rappelling carefully into the cave's depths. But as they ventured further, the terrain became more unforgiving. Narrow passages forced them to crawl. Slippery ledges tested their balance. And then came the first mistake, a delay caused by a tangled rope. Small, but enough to unsettle the group. A fatal misstep. 2 hours into their descent, they reached a critical section, a narrow ledge overlooking the fantastic pit. Here, one slip could send you plunging nearly 600 feet into the abyss. The guide went first, demonstrating how to safely rappel down. One by one, the students followed, their nerves building as they inched closer to the pit. And then it happened. John, the leader, was next to rappel. As he stepped onto the ledge, his boot slipped on the slick surface. He tried to regain his footing, but the harness he was using wasn't properly secured. In an instant, he lost his grip and fell 600 feet into the fantastic pit. The group was paralyzed. Shock, panic, and disbelief washed over them. Their leader, their friend, was gone in the blink of an eye. Fear and despair. What followed was utter chaos. Some members of the group were frozen, unable to move. Others tried to descend further, only to realize the risk was too great. Their guide attempted to maintain order, but fear had taken hold. Communication broke down as the group argued about what to do next. A desperate attempt. Eventually, one of the students managed to climb back to the surface and call for help. A rescue team was dispatched immediately, but reaching the depths of Ellison's Cave is no small feat. Rescuers had to navigate the same treacherous terrain, battling exhaustion and cold as they descended into the abyss. After hours of grueling effort, they found John's body at the bottom of the fantastic pit. Tragically, there was nothing they could do. The fall had been fatal. Meanwhile, the rest of the group was slowly brought to safety, one by one, each member grappling with the trauma of what they had witnessed, reflection and grief. For the surviving students, the nightmare didn't end with their rescue. They were haunted by guilt and grief, replaying the events of that day over and over in their minds. Could they have done something differently? Should they have turned back earlier? these questions would linger long after they left the cave. Lesson from the tragedy, the Ellison's Cave. Tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the risks of extreme adventure. It highlights the importance of preparation, proper equipment, and knowing your limits. Caving is not just a physical challenge, it's a mental one. And in environments as unforgiving as Ellison's Cave, one mistake can cost you everything. Why this story matters. Today, Ellison's Cave remains a popular destination for thrill seekers. But for many, it's a symbol of caution. John's story and the bravery of the rescuers who risked their lives remind us of the thin line between adventure and tragedy. It's a story of ambition, loss, and the unyielding power of nature. A question for the audience: what would you do? Would you take the risk to explore the unknown, knowing what could go wrong? Or would you choose safety over adventure? Let us honor John's memory by sharing this story and learning from it. If you found this story captivating, make sure to like, subscribe, and remember, stay curious, but always stay safe.